take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I got the horses in the back, horse stock is attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys footage of what I do have back in June 2019 of Bullet. Unfortunately, there was no footage of the interior, so I've decided to just take a clip of the actual seating that was removed, and then you can compare it to the new interior, which is done like in a vintage style, brown leather, diamond stitching. The stick was also re-varnished, and yeah, and the carpets were totally removed and redone, and they all got the Bullet insignia. So throughout the plane you'll see that Bullet is basically marked. You can't miss what aircraft you are in. And yeah, the aircraft as far as the striping and that was all kept exactly as it was, except all the coloring was changed. So it's now in a beautiful bolt metallic blue and a silvery metallic with a hue of blue in it, both of those silver flakes. So if the sun really shines on it, then you get to see the true effect of it. We ran into a bit of a hassle over Christmas. Graphic places were all closed. We couldn't get the new graphics printed for the registration of Bullet, which was removed. So finally it's on. Guys, have a look at it and pass me all your comments. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so the spinner that was resprayed to the blue, which is basically the same blue that's at the bottom of the spats. Then we got like a silvery blue where the upper half of the spats were done in the silvery blue, and this is continued through the striping. The prop was also repaired, sprayed. Obviously these decals were all put on. This is from World War II. All the decals that were on the aircraft have been replaced, new decals on the wing. Obviously the whole aircraft was highly polished, cleaned. All the different moving parts were cleaned. The biggest mission was to remove the protective tape on the flaps, which was totally disintegrating. So there we have Bullet again. Cuckoo shades have been put on, which obviously makes a massive difference. New registration. Again, new decals. Tail was redone in the new silvery blue and the metallic blue flake. New decals were put on as well. Surfaces were all cleaned. The nuts were marked for movement. So I'm pretty happy how it actually has come out. I think it's looking pretty awesome. So Zulu Uniform Foxtrot Hotel Zulu, as is now known. New decals again. This strip was also redone. So a lot of thought has gone into this. It has taken quite a few months to achieve this. I think this has come out pretty good. Obviously the decal on the wing. Landing light was replaced with a new LED landing light.
I'm just going to put it's going to be safer to start there.
Cool. Let's get a perspective of what the aircraft stance now looks like. So let's take a look at the inside, and I can show you what I've done. I've gone for obviously this whole vintage look. We basically looking at World War II markings in the vintage look with the diamond stitching. So guys, this is what I can show you. This is the footage of the old interior that Bullitt had. We now use this interior specifically when the aircraft goes to AMOs. I have made an alteration here though, where the sock for the stick was actually stitched to it, which was a problem, and now we've actually made this opening separate so that it can have freer movement, which didn't happen before. And then the carpets, if you look very carefully, you'll see the carpets have got Bullitt inside onto them as well, same as the panel. And then all the labeling of all the gauges, this is all done as well. This is all redone. Got Bullitt onto the so that's, I think that is, let's get that so you can actually see what that looks like. Yeah, and then of course the main carpet underneath here has also got Bullitt. So this is the external cover if you obviously flying elsewhere. Got your first aid kit, communication strips, and then we have a survival kit as well, which has been put for good measure. Yeah, of the survival kit I basically have got there a USB charger for your cell phone, infrared light, white light torch onto your head, compass, some sugar sweets for shock, condom for water, and a strong knife in case you want to need to cut splinters for if there's any breakages. The important thing to do with the first aid kit was also to get a fire blanket, which is equipped and it's got all sorts of additions for burns. Yeah, and this is the new fire extinguisher. Although the fire extinguisher has got a bracket, we've also put in Velcro to prevent it from moving. We don't be whacked on the head with this. Yeah, so otherwise, yeah, we can see very clearly now Bullitt. Seat belts were reserviced, so they were totally removed from the aircraft and re-cleaned, and the sticks were re-varnished, also redone. Yeah, the 296 is not here right now, and that's because it's being charged. This is how the new Cougar blind looks on Bullitt, and it's made a tremendous difference, both from being able to read the instrumentation more adequately, as well as reducing the heat in the cabin and glare. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that. Yeah, lastly, this is Bullitt's checklist, and yeah, so this is another important aspect which I took care of. So yeah, I managed to find a graphic that basically represented Bullitt. As you can see, you have this World War II Eagle pilot biting the Bullitt, which I think is pretty apt. This is the same shark nose teeth used in the P-40 Mustangs back in World War II, which was flown by the United States Air Corps, which is the same insignia that's on the aircraft. So you can see the stance of Bullitt. I think it looks awesome. Everything else is as before. So look out for him in the skies. so I've put Bullet back in its hanger. I just want to show you the cover that was custom made for him for those that have not seen it yet. And we've added covers for the prop as well. So he's snug as a bug. Everything is covered and tied down. So we used Velcro to tie it down, and then at the bottom it's got a bit of elastic, and there's the tie downs going back to the other side to hold the covers in place in case you move them out. And there's a bit of wind. Obviously these are internal covers. It's got his own external cover, but these are just covers for if it's in the hanger, or if it's temporarily just being moved out of the hanger. So that's what these covers are for. Obviously they're not waterproof. Same thing here, elastic being put down, tied down on that side. So properly secured. I think it's the most loved aircraft at Morningstar, quite honestly. If not, definitely one of the top two. Yeah, it was quite a mission to source this amount of material to do the cover and obviously do the templates. I was fortunate enough that Steve, the previous owner, had templates for the wings and for the elevator and for the tail. So actually, yeah, and so we just basically made it as a onesie suit for him. I think the biggest hassle with the cover is to always remember which way is front and which way is back. Yeah, if you actually put it onto the aircraft the wrong way around, it's got a mission to turn it around. But yeah, it's just a question of remembering a routine to put it on the same way as you took it off. So yeah, once again guys, let me know what you think. But yeah, it keeps him pretty warm. Everything was made by us, so even the plugs, antenna, pitot tube, all the covers was actually made by ourselves. My good partner in life, Yvette, who took the time and the patience to spend days upon days measuring with a sewing machine at the hanger. So yeah, so again, this is Velcro to hold this in place. There you go. Right. That's it. So now you've seen Bullet in his new livery, and yeah, let me know what you think.
This is where the chapter ends. A new one now begins. Time has come for letting go. The hardest part is when you know all of these years when we were here are ending. But I'll always remember we have had the time of our lives, and now the pages turn, the stories we will write. We have had the time of our lives, and I will not forget the faces left behind. It's hard to walk away from the best of days, but if it has to end, I'm glad you have been my friend in the time of our lives. Where the water meets the land, there is shifting in the sand, like the tide that ebbs and flows. Memories will come and go. All of these years when we were here are ending, but I'll always remember we have had the time of our lives. left behind. It's hard to walk away from the best of days, but if it has to end, I'm glad you have been my friend in the time of our lives. We say goodbye, we hold on tight to these memories that never die. We say goodbye, we hold on tight to these memories that never die. We have had the time of our lives, and now the page is turned, the stories we will write. We have had the time of our lives, and I will not forget the faces left behind. It's hard to walk away from the best of days, but if it has to end, I'm glad you have been my friend in the time of our lives. I'm glad you have been my friend.
Oh, she's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. At night she's screaming, I'm on my mind.